1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
I like a good serial killer documentary. He hasn't taken the pounding that wide receivers take.
It's just a pound job, and guys are tired towards that 4 minutes.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
I would be lying to you if I said I had not heard things. They're like a bad rash. You hear a lot of things. Some are true, some aren't.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Oh, yeah. Week 2. Week number 2 of the National Football League kicks off in about 15 minutes. The Miami Dolphins, fresh off that emotional comeback win over the Jaguars, and the Buffalo Bills, AFC East. It's a good one tonight to kick off Week 2 in South Florida. We will keep you updated. Kickoff set for a little over 15 minutes from right now. I guess, as a Jaguar supporter, I guess you're rooting for Buffalo tonight, right? Interestingly enough, Buffalo plays tonight. They then get 11 days off before they play your Jacksonville Jaguars 1 week from Monday. So Buffalo basically has a bye week. They'll get 11 days after tonight to rest up for the Jaguars, who will roll into Monday night there in Orchard Park, New York, week number 3. But Amazon Prime on the call. We'll keep you updated. Miami and Buffalo to kick off week 2 in the National Football League. And with that, a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us on what will be a very, very busy Thursday night here on HAD. We got a lot to get into, and we only have an hour and 57 minutes to do it. So let me tell you what's coming up. A little Jaguar locker room talk, less than 15 minutes from right now. Earlier today or earlier this week, I had the opportunity to catch up with defensive back Antonio Johnson and defensive lineman Devon Hamilton. So Antonio Johnson and Devon Hamilton down in the Jaguar locker room, a little locker room talk, previewing the Cleveland game. That comes up in less than 15 minutes. Towards the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for your Jacksonville Jaguars. We get Cecil every week here on Hacker After Dark. He'll join us at 8:30 tonight to recap Miami, but more so look ahead to Cleveland. Keep in mind, Cecil Shorts, also a former Houston Texan, so he has a lot of thoughts on Deshaun Watson, who's coming in here to Jacksonville on Sunday afternoon. So a couple of current Jaguars, Antonio Johnson and Devon Hamilton, and a former Jaguar, Cecil Shorts, all coming to you inside of the next 35 minutes right here on Hacker After Dark. We'll also do some college ball tonight. We'll talk Florida, Texas A&M. We'll talk Florida State and Memphis, just to name a few. So we got a lot to dive into, and we are glad you are spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Of course, around here, Friday nights, Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights postgame show. Looking forward to that tomorrow night. We'll be on after Bowles and Bishop Kenny go final, bringing you victorious high school head coaches all over Northeast Florida. So tonight is the final Hacker After Dark, if you will, for the week. So with that, I wanted to talk Jags, I wanted to talk Gators, and I wanted to talk Seminoles. Let's begin with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like Jacksonville on Sunday. In fact, I like Jacksonville kind of big on Sunday. I'm not sure this is much of a game late in the fourth quarter. I think Jacksonville wins the game. I'll say it's somewhere in the realm of 27-13, 30-14, something like that. I think this is a wounded Cleveland team Their Pro Bowl tight end is not making the trip. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 different defensive players, each who had at least 2 tackles last week against Dallas, including Juan Thornhill, who led the Browns in tackles last week, are not playing. You got all the issues with Deshaun Watson and the lawsuit that's now been filed with him. If their offensive tackles play, Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin, neither one has played since 2023. Both missed almost the entirety of training camp coming back from knee injuries. Even though I believe Myles Garrett will play, he missed practice today with a foot. This is a banged up Cleveland Browns football team, all right? It's your home opener. We talked earlier this week. The Jaguars have to do a better job at home. I believe they will. I believe that will start on Sunday. And again, I don't know if there's anything like a must-win scenario in September in week 2 of the NFL. But if there is, this is pretty close to it for Jacksonville. Your only home game in September, playing a Browns team with all sorts of off-the-field issues and injury issues. This is a game you have to win. If you're anything like the team that we all here in Jacksonville hope you are, this is a game that you win on Sunday. I believe you are that team. So I'm picking Jacksonville to get it done. Give me the Jaguars, and I think we return here on Monday and even Sunday evening on the 5th quarter live from Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. I think we're having a very fun, different conversation than last week, as I think Jacksonville will improve their record to 1-1 on the year. When it comes to Florida and Texas A&M, man, I have been going back and forth on this all week. Back and forth. It's literally 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Earlier in the week, I was leaning Florida. I think I was leaning Florida Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, as recently as yesterday. I want to pick the Gators. I want to believe. But that Miami game left such a bad taste in my mouth, such an awful, ridiculous performance. I look at this Texas A&M team who, Notre Dame did lose last week, but they played Notre Dame awfully tough in week 1. They, like Florida, ran a Division I AA team out of the stadium last week. I just get the sense that if this game is close in the 4th quarter, which I believe it will be, why do I believe Florida will make a boneheaded mistake to lose the game? Or maybe Texas A&M will be the team that just plays the smartest football. I'll put it like that. I think the Aggies might win, man. That's where I'm leaning. Again, I'm literally 6.5 to 5.5. It would not shock me. Heck, it wouldn't even surprise me if Florida won. But we're all talking about how important this game is for Billy Napier, how important this game is for the program. Why do I get the sense that something bad is going to happen in the 4th quarter, whether it be a costly penalty, a turnover, something along those lines, and Texas A&M is going to find a way to win the game? And I could change that opinion tomorrow. I've been flip-flopping all week. It is election time because I'm flip-flopping like nobody's business. But as of right now, 8:10 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night, September 12th, I'll, by a whisker, take Texas A&M to beat Florida. And then when it comes to Florida State and Memphis, give me the Noles. For the life of me, I can't imagine them going 0-3 with losses to Georgia Tech, to Boston College, and then to Memphis. Now, since I'm picking Florida State, that might be great news for Memphis. Because, of course, I picked Florida State to beat Georgia Tech and Boston College, and that obviously didn't work. But Florida State's had a bye week. They've had what will be 12 days to kind of figure themselves out after that Boston College game. Look, if they can't run the football and they can't stop the run, they're not going to beat Memphis. They're not going to beat almost anybody on their schedule. They've had 12 days. Forget about DJU for a moment. He's an issue, but the main issue, The absolute main issue for Florida State's the line of scrimmage. They can't run the ball, and more importantly, they can't stop the run. And I'm assuming in these last 12 days, they've done enough to figure out maybe not how to correct all their flaws, but maybe correct some of them. I don't think it's a blowout. I think Memphis might arguably be the best group of 5 team in America. They're very good, and they're very upper class heavy. But I just have to think Florida State at home, after getting embarrassed at home 12 days prior, that won't happen again, and they will find a way to have more points on the scoreboard than the Memphis Tigers. So give me the Jaguars. Man, give me A&M by a whisker. But again, I was thinking differently a couple of days ago on that. Who knows where I'll be Saturday at 3:30. And give me Florida State. Denmark, quick. Who do you like in those 3 games?
I like the Jags comfortably. I like A&M unless Florida has great quarterback play, which I don't think happens. And then what was the other one? Florida State?
Yeah.
Florida State finds a way to win. I don't know how. Don't ask. I think they win somehow.
So you and I are literally the exact same on all 3. The exact same. Jaguars, A&M, and Florida State. It's kind of a college football Saturday that's lacking a little bit. I mean, LSU, South Carolina is interesting. Georgia should absolutely destroy Kentucky. Boy, Kentucky was terrible last week. Just terrible. I'll tell you, one of the more intriguing games is that Boston College-Missouri game. That's a good game. Somebody's going 3-0. A little SEC, ACC bragging rights there. But we'll see. But obviously in this town, all eyes are pointing to Jaguars-Cleveland. Sunday, 1 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. As I mentioned earlier, Dave Campo, the head coach, Leon Searcy, the Pro Bowler, and yours truly will have the 5th quarter for you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Browns go final on Sunday. And we'll have it on location, Island Girls Cigar Bar, Gate Parkway. I'm not going to lie, I've broken bread at Island Girls Cigar Bar numerous times in the last 10, 12 years. That would be, I guess, considered one of my places. And we're looking forward to doing the 5th quarter out there on Sunday, perhaps having a victory cigar if the Jaguars do what I think they're going to do and get the victory over Cleveland on Sunday. More details about the 5th quarter and our remote at Island Girls Cigar Bar coming up later on in the broadcast. But coming up next, a little locker room talk. As the Jaguars are getting ready for the Cleveland Browns, we'll catch up with both defensive back Antonio Johnson and defensive lineman Devon Hamilton. Week 2 of the NFL set to kick off in a matter of moments. Buffalo and Miami. Down in South Florida, we will keep you updated. It's a Thursday night, Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, a little Jaguar locker room talk coming up next.
Start game day with Insider Insight and football fun.
Sounds like a plan.
It's the Terminix Kickoff Show, live from Tailgaters Parking.
Let's get back out there.
Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation.
Okay, it's go time.
On 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Back to work, back to school. Soon we'll be settling back into a routine. I say don't settle. Mix that routine up with my friends at Awaken 180. Fast, easy, and free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
The countdown to kickoff is on, and we want to put a little pep in your step with Spirit Week, presented by UF Health. Leading up to our home opener against the Cleveland Browns, keep your eyes and ears open for cool ways to win big. Local partner offers, free tickets, and more could be yours this week only. For more information, go to Jaguars.com/sweepstakes. And don't forget to lock in your tickets for the home opener by going to Jaguars.com/tickets.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex?
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 12, 1991, MLB pitching legend Nolan Ryan celebrates his 312th career win in a 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Twins.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems, gun charges, drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player-v-player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab and our Jacksonville weekly grilling specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Your musculoskeletal system carries the body, meaning that it maintains the structure against gravity. If you want your joints to stay healthy and seek the simplest solution, the best answer is to lose weight. Don't forget that the more weight you put onto your joints, the more pressure and stress there is on your hips and knees. This translates to more pain if you're already having issues. Losing weight is the quickest way to alleviate joint pain and boost your joint health. Go Jags.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins me in less than 20 minutes. Actually, less than 15 minutes. Earlier on, I had the opportunity to do a little locker room talk with Jaguar defensive lineman Devon Hamilton. We'll play that conversation in a moment. Before we get to the defensive lineman, let's talk to a defensive back. Second-year player Antonio Johnson getting ready for Cleveland on Sunday, the home opener at Everbank Stadium. Here's a Hacker After Dark Jaguar locker room talk with Antonio Johnson.
Moore Electric Center, Jaguars getting ready for the Cleveland Browns. We got Jaguar defensive back Antonio Johnson here with us on 1010XL. Antonio, how we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing good. Practicing for the Browns, putting last week in the rearview mirror. Is it full steam ahead now into week number 2?
Yes, sir. Coming in first day of a real work day. On to the next week. We have Monday to, clean up mistakes and, just talk about the game. And now we're going to our next opponent.
You know, when you start a season like that, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, a lot of talent on that Miami offense. Yeah, you guys held them in check for a large majority of that game. Obviously, the outcome was not what you wanted, but when you looked at the tape, were you guys ultimately happy with the product you put out there?
Yes, I feel like we show good sparks here and there. Obviously, besides like a few plays, but overall, you know, I feel like we put a good defensive tape together, and I feel like as a team as a whole, we put a good tape together. Very excited for what we're able to do when we all clicking on all cylinders, and it's going to be a very exciting season.
What's the thought in the DB room? Tyson's going to be down for at least a couple of weeks, it appears. What's the conversation in there about replacing a guy like Tyson Campbell?
Tyson's an awesome teammate and a great player, obviously. But I feel like we have a lot of good guys in our defensive room. They're very versatile. They can play multiple positions, and we have a saying in our room: each one teach one, and next man up. And I feel like that's just a great showsmanship of what we can do. And you'll be able to see this weekend, even though Tyson's a big part of our defense, but we have a lot of guys in our room that can step up and make plays.
With Cleveland coming in here, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, certainly some talent on that Browns offense. What have you seen from them on tape?
Like you say, they have great talent over there. Respect them as a receiving core, as an offense, as a team. But when they come over, I feel like they should respect us as well. We have a lot of talent over here, and if they don't, it's gonna be. Like I said, it's gonna be a very physical game, and at the end of the day, everybody got to make their plays that come to them. And at the end of the game, the results are going to be the results.
As we begin to wrap up, home opener for you guys. How excited are you to get out there in front of the home fans on Sunday?
I'm very excited. We got to come home, defend the bank, and I feel like we feel that. And, losing the first week, we got to come home and get the dub for the team and for the fans.
We're also the home of the Gators on 1010XL. You guys are rolling in on Saturday. What about your Texas A&M Aggies?
Gig them. We're going to go in there to the swamp, and we're going to handle business. I got full confidence in my guys over there at NO, and, it's going to be a show for sure.
Antonio Johnson, best of luck on Sunday.
I appreciate it.
There you go. Antonio Johnson here with us on Hacker After Dark. I don't know what the Jaguars have been doing at practice this week, Denmark. They were relatively healthy after Sunday, right? We knew about Tyson Campbell. Then all of a sudden, Cam Robinson showed up on the injury report after yesterday. And now all of a sudden today, Darnell Savage shows up on the injury report, didn't even practice with a quad. Now, that's a rarity, right? You're healthy on Sunday after the game, and you're getting considerably more injured as the week goes on. Antonio Johnson, that could complicate things for him without Darnell Savage. If you don't practice on Thursday, we'll see tomorrow. That's usually not a good sign. Already being without Tyson Campbell, what kind of issue would that be for the secondary going into Sunday?
It's definitely a big deal. Something you don't want. But Jacksonville's been really, really fortunate if you look at the rest of the NFL with the injury front. So it's not something I'm too really worried about. If Jacksonville's playing Miami this week, I'd be worried about it. But Cleveland, not so much.
The Buffalo-Miami game is underway. Tua was picked on Miami's opening drive. Buffalo is lining up to go for it. It's 4th down and 3 for the Bills. They are at the Dolphin. What are they at? The 19-yard line. They're right around the 20. Tua's interception was a deflected pass that was returned all the way into Miami territory. We'll see what happens here. We'll keep it here for 1 second. And 4th and 3 for the Bills. 5 minutes into the first quarter, Josh Allen calls a timeout. Yeah, so we'll see what goes on there. But, look, I guess from a Jaguar point of view, as we said, you kind of want Buffalo to win this game because you do see them in 11 days. You want to put a loss on the Dolphins. I'm probably thinking way too far ahead. But, again, Miami does have a tiebreaker on you. Essentially, they're up a game and a half if it were to ever come to anything like that. So I just assume Buffalo win tonight, so I'll root for the Bills tonight. And hopefully, if they go for it on 4th down, they convert it. I'm actually shocked they're not going to kick a field goal. But again, we'll keep you updated on what's happening. Defensive lineman Devon Hamilton, earlier on, Miller Electric Center, had the opportunity to catch up with a man who played his college football in the state of Ohio. He now plays against the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Here is my conversation with defensive tackle Devon Hamilton.
Miller Electric Center, Jaguars getting ready for the Cleveland Browns. We've got Jaguar defensive lineman Devon Hamilton here with us on 1010XL. Devon, how was practice today?
That was good. That was real good. I mean, we worked on some corrections. We worked on improving and finishing and whatnot. So, I felt like it was a good day for us.
Obviously, the outcome, not what you guys wanted, but when you watch the tape, boy, a lot of good things that the defense did out there. Overall, were you guys happy with the way you performed?
We want to be, but at the end of the day, we got to win the game. I feel like that's the biggest thing that we're looking forward to. And, we can have a lot of personal success, but at the end of the day, if we don't win the game, it's kind of, whatever.
Yeah, it was unfortunate the way it ended, no question. But it looked like the defensive line, Trayvon, Josh, you, Eric, penetration, stopping the run. It looked like from the media view anyway, that the front four, you guys were really getting after it. Is that the way you guys felt?
Oh, yeah, I felt like we played pretty good together. Obviously, we could have made a few more plays and got off the field a few times. But at the end of the day, I felt like we played pretty good, but still got to win, man.
You being a veteran of this team, not one of the elder statesmen yet, but certainly a guy that's been around for a while. Home games are important. Fans are excited. It's the home opener. How important is this one for you guys on Sunday?
Very important. That's kind of one of our keys as a team. We got to win at home, and this is just like the first step for us in order to prove that we can win at home. We have struggled in past years about that, and this year I feel like this is a really important focus for us.
When you see Cleveland coming in here, things did not go well for them last week against Dallas, kind of got away from them in the first half, but still a lot of talent on that offense. What have you seen out of Deshaun Watson and the fellas on tape?
At the end of the day, they're all professional athletes. They're going to give it their best. We're going to give it our best, and I think they're a very talented group. We still got to win a game as well, so it's going to be a battle out there.
As we wrap up, what do you got? What message to the fans that are coming out on Sunday to support you guys?
I just want to let them know I'm very appreciative of you guys coming out and seeing us. It means the world to us, and just keep on supporting us throughout the season.
Devon, thank you. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
There you go, Jaguar defensive lineman Devon Hamilton. So, Denmark, you're like me. You think Jaguars, NFL-wise, nothing's easy unless, of course, you're playing Carolina or the New York Giants, but 10, 14 points, something like that for the Jags?
Yeah, even besides all the injuries that the Browns have had, I just don't believe in Deshaun Watson being a good quarterback. I don't know what's happened between his time from Houston and Cleveland. You always hear the term he's a shell of himself. He's less than a shell of himself, and even last year before he got hurt, he didn't look right. Week 1, he didn't look right. I know he didn't have his starting tackles. I just have no faith in Deshaun Watson doing anything good for Cleveland if they get down early and have to bring them back, or getting them in the right spots in the first half to have a close game once you start the second half. So I think Jacksonville just handles business.
We'll go to Cleveland in the 9 o'clock hour. Scott Petrak is my guy up there. He's been my guy up there for years. BrownZone.com is where you find his coverage of the Cleveland Browns, and he'll tell you the David Njoku injury is huge for the Cleveland offense. Not from just a pass-catching point of view, but a run-blocking point of view. They don't really have another tight end. They, I think, have one active tight end on their roster. They're going to have to move one or two guys up from the practice squad. That is an enormous deal, not having David Njoku. Remember, Njoku is the guy that killed the Jaguars last year in December when the Jags lost that game to Cleveland. So the defensive injuries, yes. The Deshaun Watson lawsuit, absolutely. But maybe the biggest factor and why I think Jacksonville might have an easy time of it is not having David Njoku, their Pro Bowl tight end. That is a big, big loss for the Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, let's talk to a man that played 7 years in the National Football League. My buddy Cecil Shorts will stop by to preview Cleveland as well as look around the rest of the AFC South. I do want to let you know Buffalo is on the board. 4th down. They do run a play, and they scored a touchdown. Josh Allen to James Cook. Bills 7, Dolphins nothing. 9:49 to go in the first quarter. Denmark, I don't know if you saw James Cook was going to the pylon. Did you happen to notice who the Miami defender was that was closing in on him?
I thought it was Holland.
It was Javon Holland, the same guy that punched the ball out from Travis Etienne 4 days ago. James Cook must have saw the tape because James Cook had it in the outside arm. Holland couldn't get to the ball. Cook crosses the goal line, and the Bills are up 7-0. We will keep you updated. Former Jags wide receiver Cecil Shorts next Thursday night, Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
playoff teams limit their weaknesses. Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
All three phases come into play.
Listen for the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Sometimes special teams can be fun.
On 1010XL.
This is Nia Lauren Stample, former Florida State national champion and the proud owner of NLS Cleaning. Just like on the gridiron, we tackle dirt and grime with unmatched precision. Whether it's your commercial property or your residential space, we are ready to take care of your exterior cleaning needs. NLScleaning.net.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
A different path means a new hope for Miami football this season.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Keep an eye on the Canes as they strike back on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house?
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
It's poker with a purpose. The Hold'em for Life Texas Hold'em Tournament at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall benefits the Women's Help Center with a focus on expectant mothers and newborns. If you'd like to play or sponsor, call 904-868-8873.
Help make Jacksonville safer and play a round of golf at the First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament, October 21st at Amelia River Club.
If you're a dog lover who wants to help animals, our furry friends need exercise and time out of their kennels. You can make a difference in a dog's life at volunteer@jackshumane.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Browns, Sunday, 1 o'clock, the home opener at Everbank Stadium. Of course, both teams losing last week, both teams trying to avoid that dreaded 0-2 start. Let's talk to a man that played 7 years in the National Football League, including 4 right here in Jacksonville. My buddy Cecil Shorts. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark, and we always love talking ball with Cecil. Cecil, how we doing, my friend?
RG, how you doing, man? I'm good. Disappointing. They blew the lead, but I guess we'll get into that soon, right?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing last week. I haven't talked to you about the game since it happened last Sunday. I mean, a lot of positives, which we'll get to, but clearly the Jaguars let one get away last week.
It was very disappointing. I thought, like you said, a lot of positives. I love what I've seen from Brian Thomas Jr. I think he has a chance, and I think by the end of the year, he will be the number 1 receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars team. Just watching him run routes, watching how comfortable he is, whether it was against Jalen Ramsey drawing the PI, whether it was against the other guys across the he was getting open, running good routes. I love what I've seen from Tank Bigsby. It was a lot of just good things. I thought the front 7 looked good yesterday. But when you're up 17-7 and have an opportunity to go up 24-7, right, and really shut the game out and put the game out of reach, you can't let those fumbles happen. It kind of just went downhill spiral after that.
So look, Travis Etienne's not a young guy. He's a veteran in this league. He's in it's really his 3rd year, but he was drafted 4 years ago, and he is considered to be certainly one of the top 10, 12 running backs in football. It's just one of those things that happens, right? I mean, if he scores a touchdown on that play, the game's probably over. Great play by Javon Holland. I don't think we've talked enough about the great play by the Dolphins safety, but clearly you could tell Etienne was very affected by that.
You know what? It's a part of the game. I think you're right. Holland made a heck of a play, literally punching the ball to the tackle. That's something we used to see Peanut Tillman do all the time for the Chicago Bears back in the day. But his ability to get in and punch the ball clean when he was going in for the score was definitely a talent, definitely something he worked on. So kudos to Holland for that. But it's a tough one because you trust Travis in that area of the field. You trust Travis enough to take care of the ball. But those guys get paid too. That's one of the sayings we had in the locker room. Those guys are going to make plays too. It's just that particular play kind of led to a downward spiral, right? After that play, it just seems like we couldn't get the momentum going back for Jacksonville. And then it seemed like I think the very next play, Tyreek Hill scores a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 80 yards. That's
first
right.
Play, 80 yards down the field, and then next, it was a fumble kickoff return, but we ended up getting it back. But it just wasn't going in our way. It seemed like we got kind of a panic mode on 4th down, going forward on their own 30-yard line. You still have the lead at that point, right? I think it's 17-14 at that point. So you need to punt the ball, play defense. Don't play like you're losing. Play like you're winning, right? But Travis, I think he'll bounce back. He's a professional. Like you mentioned, he's a top 10, top 12 back in the NFL. I expect him to bounce back, and I expect him to play well this upcoming game against Cleveland.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Cecil, it was not a great game for Christian Kirk either. He had one bad drop on 3rd down. He had another one where he got his hands on it, and maybe it was an overthrow by Trevor, but I think Christian would tell you that he probably needs to bring that one in as well. We'll get to the positives in a moment, which were Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas, but clearly Christian Kirk needs to play better than he did last Sunday.
You can have those drops. When you pay that man $80+ million, you expect him to make those type of catches, right? Both drops to me were on him. Period. He's more than capable of making those catches. Matter of fact, we've seen him make those catches over and over and over again in different instances, right? So he knows that. I expect him to play better next week as well, but those big third downs are huge. Like, if Trevor's looking for you on third down, he's expecting you to come up with the catch. So moving forward, I'm hoping he can improve. But like you mentioned, there was a lot of good positives from Gabe and from BTJ this weekend.
I'll tell you what, I got so much grief from Titans media up in Nashville about the whole Calvin Ridley, Gabe Davis thing. And I don't know if it's going to last, but the fact that Gabe Davis had more receiving yardage in week 1 than Calvin Ridley, I let Titans people know about that on social media, and I will continue to let them know about that every week that it happens. Gabe Davis, look, 3 grabs, 62 yards. Here's my question to you, Cecil. He was targeted 3 times. He caught every one of them. Don't you need that guy to get more involved in the offense based on that?
You know what? I would say Gabe and BTJ, second half, they didn't get many targets at all, right? I don't think BTJ got a target in the second half, or Gabe Davis, honestly. I think these guys look really, really good. Gabe did a really good job separating. I forget how big he is. Like, the way he's able to kind of move guys at the top of the route with his hands, with his strength, be able to create separation. That's going to be things that are going to help him get open all year long and just create a real confidence in Trevor Lawrence. Like, hey, I can trust this guy on third down. I can trust this guy going down the field. Coming into the season, I'm thinking, okay, good, big body, big target downfield. But he does really good on the stopping routes, man. He does a really good job creating separation, using that strength. So I was impressed with him for sure. And I would love to see him get more targets and possibly we get some more action out of him in the weeks to come.
You played 7 years in the league as a wide receiver. You were a rookie once. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. to come in to have the impact that he did and to let Jalen Ramsey, of all people, know about it. All right, Brian was talking to Jalen Ramsey out there. I mean, you got to love that, right?
The confidence he has, man, is somebody's LSU receivers. I don't know what it is, but they come in ready to go. And I was thinking, we talked months ago when he was drafted, you know, he'll be worked in there. He will be a guy that will have a package here and there. Nah, he was from jump out there and confident and making plays. When you're talking to a cornerback, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, matter of fact, he just got paid again this past week. Jalen Ramsey, I'm talking about, and you draw pass interference. You beat him on the route. You clearly beat him on the route. Like, he was wide open. He was separating as he was going down the field. He had to slow down, and then Jalen was in panic mode and did the right thing, caused a pass interference. You, as a defensive back, you want to pass interference and give up a touchdown, right? And he still almost caught the ball. But to get up in his face and say, yep, you know I got you. You know I'm coming for you. Like, I'd love to see that from a young guy. He's not scared of the big dogs in the league. 4 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. He seems so confident. He knows where to be. Trim and Trevor seem to have some type of chemistry, and that's only going to continue to get better. So I love what I see from BTJ so far, man. This is you have potential on offense to have a really exciting offense.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Short. Cecil, let's begin to look ahead to this week. This week, the Jaguars will not have Tyson Campbell, a hamstring. And speak on that, Cecil, if you would. I don't know if you have any experience with hamstrings. Tyson Campbell had one of those last year. Now he has another one this year. That's an issue, right? I mean, those soft tissue things, once they flare up, some guys just can't shake them. What, if anything, can an NFL player do to kind of get over that hurdle of hamstring injuries?
Ooh, man, I hate hamstring issues because, like you say, they linger. They linger. And it goes from one side to the other side. And they always say once you feel like you're back to 100%, which takes about a week or 2, possibly 3, then you got to wait 1 more week just to make sure. Like, it's a thing that's very tough to come back from, especially at his position, because he runs basically every single play, right? And that's one thing I wish. I don't say like they played bad. The secondary did, But when you got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, making big plays, I think Tyreek had an 80-yard. His big play was an 80-yard return. 80-yard catch. And then Jalen Waddle had a 68-yard catch. There was a lot of big plays in the game. I think we could control a little bit better, but it's hard when you got McDaniels moving these guys all around in motions and shifts and this different awkward plays you're not going to see again unless you play them in their division, right? This is just very creative. But when you have to run like that, and you travel, you have to make sure you're hydrating. And hydrating is a key when it comes to soft tissue injuries. You have to be hydrated all the time, whether it's IVs and water and Gatorades and Gator Lights and all this type of stuff that they produce and they have the resource to give you. Hydration is one of the biggest things coming into an away game, because when you're flying to different games, that airtime in the air takes that kind of dehydrates. It dehydrates you, so you got to make sure you're doing that. But hopefully, it's not too bad, and he can come back as soon as possible, because we're going to need him in that secondary. But we'll see.
Cecil, Cleveland comes in this week. You're not only a former Jaguar, you're also a former Houston Texan, so I have no doubt that your paths have crossed with Deshaun Watson a time or two in your day out there. He was awful last week. Let's just call it what it was. He was awful to the point where they're talking about Jameis Winston needs to go in. And now you have another lawsuit involved with Deshaun Watson that broke earlier this week. And by the way, David Njoku's out for Cleveland, their Pro Bowl tight end. They put 4 defensive players that played against Dallas on Sunday on IR, including their leading tackler from last week and Juan Thornhill. Cecil, I don't know if there's a must-win game in September, but if there is, man, this might be it for the Jaguars. This is a banged-up Cleveland Browns team coming in here on Sunday.
You never want to beat a man while he's down, but if you're in the NFL, you're Jacksonville right now, and the Cleveland Browns are down, you want to beat the heck out of them. You want to stay on top of them and stay on top of them early. If you have a start like you did last week and just continue, I think you'll be fine. But Deshaun is not the same Deshaun that I saw in Houston. He's not that way physically. He's definitely not that way mentally. He has played 13 games over the last 3 years or something like that. He is just not himself. And I don't know if he'll ever get back to the prime Deshaun Watson that we've seen with the Houston Texans, if I'm being honest. He looked heavy out there watching the game. He looked slow. He didn't look confident in his reads. I have no idea where he was throwing at times. He looked like a third-string quarterback when he's supposed to be the starter. He's worth $230 million. Maybe the worst contract ever in history to a starting quarterback. Now, I understand the process of what Cleveland thought they were getting, but they didn't get that guy. And then on top of that, you add a sexual lawsuit to it that actually is a little more serious than the other ones. It's just, from a mental standpoint as an athlete, it's like for him, it's like, when does he get over this, right? Because it keeps popping up. It keeps happening. It keeps the same. If you call it, I don't want to call it the same mistake, but whatever happened in the past keeps popping up in his presence as a athlete, a former athlete, and that keeps happening in your head. How do you get out of that? How do you mentally push forward and say, okay, that's in my past, I'm moving forward, but it keeps popping up and it's right in your face? I'm not sure mentally how he's going to handle that. And I just don't see him playing well in the future. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I'm Cleveland, I'm seriously thinking about Jameis Winston. I'm seriously thinking about Jameis Winston. I just don't know how he's going to get past this. I just don't know. He's not the same Deshaun Watson he was in Houston. He's not in his prime no more. I think he's overthinking. He's overanalyzing. He's trying to prove that he's worth this much, right? Even going back to last year, and he was forcing things. And then watching him on Sunday, it was like a totally different person. So if you're Jacksonville, I'm blitzing the heck out of him. I'm staying in his head. I'm talking trash to him. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm going to stop the run and make him beat me with the pass, period. He's not the same athletically no more. He's totally different Deshaun Watson, which is sad to see. But if you're Jacksonville, you need to jump on this ASAP.
Final moments, the former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Short. Cecil, I want to end quickly looking around the division. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore. I mean, Cleveland's got talent, right? Even though Njoku's not going to be out there. How much of a challenge will that present the Jaguars secondary?
It'll be a real challenge. I think the secondary struggled last week versus a very good Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think they're probably one of the best duos, if not the best duo in the league when it comes to those two receivers. Explosive guys, fast. But this week with Cleveland, you have really, really, really good route runners. Those guys aren't necessarily 4-3, 4-2 guys, but they run really good routes. They'll sail one route or sail the opposite way and come back the other way. They do a really good job finding ways to get open. It's a matter of, can Deshaun hit them? Can Deshaun throw them open? Can Deshaun hit him in the right window? Can he find them? Can he take care of himself and take care of the ball? But it'll definitely be a challenge for the secondary. They got to be on their P's and Q's. They got to communicate. But I tell you what, if Deshaun is playing, I expect a turnover or two, man. He's not looking good right now. So please, if you're Jacksonville secondary, take advantage of that.
Texans on Sunday Night Football this week against Chicago. That should be fun. They had a fun game last week. Indianapolis gave them a battle. Houston ended up winning it 29-27. I imagine Houston's on fire right now getting ready for Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that was a big win. This was a game of maturity for Houston. They didn't play their best, but they found ways to win, and good teams find ways to win. Last year, at this point in time, they lost some early games. They was in the same situation last year. They would lose the games. But everybody's maturing. Everybody's understanding how to win now, what the expectation is. They ran the ball extremely well, 214 yards rushing, 30 carries, 159 yards for Joe Mixon, and then C.J. Stroud was C.J. Stroud like when he needed to be. So they look really good. It should be a very good, fun game coming. I can think the Bears are coming to NRG this week, to Houston. So they're looking to go 2-0, but that should be a fun one to watch on Sunday night.
Colts go to the Packers. That'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with Jordan Love. And then finally, Cecil, the Titans were up 17-0, and they gave up a blocked punt for a touchdown, and Will Levis threw one of the most inexcusable pick sixes you'll ever see an NFL quarterback throw. I mean, that has the chance to go bad quick in that locker room, right? If you're that defense, you're playing your tail off, and your quarterback just gives the game away, and your special teams just gives the game away, that's going to be interesting to follow.
It really is, because they didn't go with a lot of young guys. They went and got some veterans. I think they're in their mind, they're in win now mode, right? They're not trying to rebuild or whatever. They're trying to figure out how to win now. And I think this could get bad really, really, really fast if it continues that way on offense. I mean, that was one of the dumbest plays I've seen from a quarterback, maybe ever. Like that was legit idiotic. The Bears won the game and did not score an offensive touchdown. That's how bad that second half was for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, it was not good at all. The Titans host a very angry New York Jets team, I would imagine, coming in on Sunday. Cecil, leave us with this. Jaguars-Browns, who wins the game?
I got Jaguars winning. No way the Browns are coming in. Deshaun is not himself. And I expect Jacksonville to bounce back from last week. I expect a big game from Travis Etienne. And I expect the Browns to win by a touchdown or two. I'm sorry, the Jacksonville Jaguars to win by a touchdown or two. Sorry.
I agree with you. No, you and I both had the Dolphins last week. I think the Jaguars win. And honestly, Cecil, I'm not sure if it's that close with 10 minutes to go. I think this is a 10-plus point victory for the Jaguars on Sunday. Next week, we'll be back to recap the Browns and get ready for Monday Night Football, as Jaguars will travel up to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. Cecil, always appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
RG, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Pick the winners and be a winner. Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza. The 1010 Weekly Pick'em Contest is brought to you by MyBookie at 1010XL.com. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. 90-plus pounds down. You know what that means? I'm approaching 100, man. 100 pounds of weight loss is hopefully just a few weeks away. 100 pounds. And it's all thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. When I was 317 pounds, man, truthfully, I had just kind of made my peace with it. You know, this was what life was going to be like. But then I heard Matt and Mike talking about Awaken 180, and I started learning about them and listening to them and talking with them. And now here we are some 7 months later, and I'm on the doorstep of dropping 100 pounds. If you need to drop a bunch of weight, or if you just need to drop a little weight, Awaken 180 is your answer. Check them out, awaken180weightloss.com. That company, that program, they're changing lives. They're saving lives. I'm one of them. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
A customer called Duck Rooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Rooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
You know, the practice of law is like any other business. Only the strongest survive. If you've been hurt, the law allows one shot. Make it count. Fair and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Zebra.
Zebra is backed by overwhelming demand. Saturday night, September 14th, live at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville, performing songs from all 5 Zebra albums.
Zebra.
Get tickets now before they're gone at FloridaTheater.com. Zebra with all original members. Saturday night, September 14th. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss.
Zebra.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Whether you're navigating rush hour traffic or heading to the home team game on the weekend, remember, drive cautiously. If you find yourself in a fender bender, don't ignore those aches and pains. Injury Care Centers is there for you. Skip the urgent cares that treat colds and flus. They're not equipped to handle injuries. Go straight to Injury Care Centers. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Drive safe, think Injury Care Centers, and go team.
Anytime I need to send flowers for any reason to anybody, there's no choice for me but Kuhn Flowers. This is 1010XL's Frank Frangie, and I've used Kuhn Flowers dozens of times over the years. Make Kuhn Flowers your choice for when you need to send a floral arrangement.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Another Tua interception. He's thrown 2 in the first half tonight. Buffalo gets a field goal off of it. They lead the Miami Dolphins 10-7. Still pretty early in the second quarter. We'll keep you updated. Week 2 of the National Football League underway. Devon Achane, a touchdown for Miami. James Cook, a touchdown for Buffalo. And the Buffalo field goal. Bills 10, Dolphins 7. 12 minutes to go in the first half. More on the Jaguars coming up with Scott Petrak, the Cleveland Browns side of this matchup on Sunday, as we'll go to Cleveland, catch up with Scott. He's been my guy up there for many years, brownzone.com. Also, Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark, as we'll preview a big Saturday of college football action. Right now, it's that time of week. Little hack. We make the picks. We're going to pick the Jaguar game, the Gator game, and the Seminole game. And we're going to switch it up this week. We have a new guy bringing us in to this segment right now on Hacker After Dark.
Good evening, Jacksonville. We're here. Big hack and little hack that makes the picks every first day on Hacker After Dark. We're going to get into some games last night. Me and my dad played football last night. I'm introduced that on the air when we play football, talk about the games. And
you are a natural, man. I'm very impressed. Good job with the open. It is Hack and Little Hack make the picks this week on Hacker After Dark. Little Hack, we're going to keep it simple this week. We're going to pick the Florida game, the Florida State game, and the Jaguar game. Let's begin over in Tallahassee. All right, Florida State 0-2. They play Memphis at noon. Memphis may be the best group of 5 team in the country. This is a big game for Florida State. Can they really start 0-3? Ugh. Who do you like, Florida State or Memphis, Saturday, high noon in Tallahassee?
Memphis, they'll beat everyone's crap, stupid butt this month. They're the best team on Hacker After Dark.
You're picking Memphis to beat Florida State?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No.
Wow, Seminole fans, I apologize. That is absolutely brutal. All right, he's picking the upset. I am not. I'm going to go Florida State in that one, no question about it. All right, game number 2, Florida and Texas A&M. The Gators or the Aggies, Little Hack, this is a huge game for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. They really, really, really need to win, and so does Billy Napier. Who do you like, Texas A&M or Florida on Saturday?
I pick Florida this win.
You like Florida to win the game? What's your analysis? Why are they going to win?
Curry, they're just like the Jaguars, except they're very slow and stupid. They can't throw the ball real. I'm going to tell them to go get detention.
Oh, you're going to tell them to go get detention if they don't win. Wow, you're very harsh. So you're picking them to win even though you think they're very slow and not very smart on the field. That's an interesting strategy. I am going to go Florida as well, because if this doesn't happen for the Gators and if A&M wins, things are going to get real bad really quick for Billy Napier. Finally, you picked Miami to beat Jacksonville last weekend. You were right. I picked Miami to beat Jacksonville last weekend. Sadly, I was right. The Jaguars home opener, your favorite player, Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the Cleveland Browns. Little Hack, people are dying to know. Who do you like, Jacksonville or Cleveland on Sunday afternoon?
Jaguars.
You think the Jaguars are going to get it done?
Yes.
Wow. Now, are you excited about Tank Bigsby?
Oh.
No, don't say that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Little Hack almost got grounded here on the radio. So you like Tank Bigsby? You think he's going to do a good job?
Yes.
All right. Any final message for the fans as we head into a big football weekend?
Give me the microphone. We'll catch you guys on Hacker After Dark. We'll talk to you weekly. We'll do it tomorrow night on Friday, and do it actually all over again. And thank you, Jacksonville, for spending part of your evening here with us on Hacker After Dark. So, good night, Jacksonville. Love you.
That was amazing, buddy. Join us next week right here for Hack and Little Hack Make the Picks on Hacker After Dark. He's getting more comfortable with the microphone in front of him. There is absolutely no question about that. Denmark, he actually got into a little trouble in kindergarten yesterday. We got a note that said he was talking during one of the lessons.
I wonder where he gets it from.
Yeah, I got kind of a death stare from the wife on that one. When your father is a sports radio guy and has been so for over 2+ decades, yeah, I happen to talk a lot. I'm trying not to get that into my 5-year-old, but apparently it's rubbing off on him. But nevertheless, you'll get Hack and Little Hack making the picks every week here on Hacker After Dark. He is picking the Jaguars to win. He picked the Dolphins last week. I am also picking the Jaguars to win this week. I think Jacksonville gets it done. The team they're playing, Cleveland. My guy up in Cleveland is Scott Petrak. BrownsZone.com does a terrific job covering the Browns. What about this Deshaun Watson lawsuit? What about the injury to David Njoku? Cleveland is a hobbled, wounded football team coming in here. We'll get their perspective on this game with my buddy Scott Petrak of BrownsZone.com. That's next. Thursday night, Hacker After Dark, as we roll on right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
He wore 56 and played a key role in their best season ever.
I'm your tape translator, Jeff Loggeman, on Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Care. Tuesdays during football season on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our two blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market. Most passing yards, gives the most for your trade. Most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase. Super Bowl champion, wow customer service. This looks like a winning season for everyone. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville where you can score big all season long.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender. Stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 12, 1991, MLB pitching legend Nolan Ryan celebrates his 312th career win in a 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Twins.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC, Zero Res.
Think you can't afford to buy a home? Think again. Lennar offers a range of new homes at affordable prices with a simple and hassle-free buying experience. Every home comes with our Everything's Included package, which means you get premium features and upgrades at no extra cost. For a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 3.99% and no closing costs on select homes when you finance through Lennar Mortgage. Call us at 904-917-2372 to find your dream home today. Lennar, the home for you.
Big Sur's here. My cigars are back in stock at Island Girl Gate Parkway. Buy a box and I will autograph it for you. Island Girl Gate Parkway is the place to enjoy a great cigar selection, a full bar, enjoy a daily happy hour from noon to 7 and all day Sunday. Enjoy college and NFL games from noon to 6. When you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free. Plus, live music Friday and Saturday nights. For upcoming events, follow Island Girl Gate Parkway on Instagram and Facebook at islandgirl.gateparkway.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Browns, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio as both Cleveland and Jacksonville started 0-1 and are both desperately looking to stop an 0-2 start to 2024. Let's go to Cleveland. Our guy when it comes to the Browns is Scott Petrak of BrownZone.com. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Scott, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Scott, we're good. Thank you for the time. All right, so we were licking our wounds after just an inexcusable loss to Miami on Sunday, watching Dallas and Cleveland as we were doing the postgame show, and it looked ugly from the Cleveland perspective. Dallas wins the game by 17. I'm not sure if it was really that close. You were there. Is it ugly for the Browns in person as it looked on TV?
I would say uglier. It was bad, and it was not as close as that final 33-17. It wasn't nearly that close. They scored with 29 seconds left, the Browns did. And their other touchdown came when it felt like the game was out of hand too. So I was shocked. I thought the Browns would come out and play much better. I knew there were questions about Deshaun Watson. I knew there were questions about the revamped offense. I thought it would be good enough. I thought the defense would dominate. And none of that happened, and the special teams were bad too.
You mentioned Deshaun Watson. That's certainly been a topic of conversation here early in the week. I guess they're going to stick with Deshaun Watson for this game down here in Jacksonville. What exactly is the problem right now with Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, they're sticking with him because they owe him so much money that they don't have a choice. I think it would have to be beyond disastrous for them to make a move, like bench Deshaun Watson. It would have to be so bad. His cap hit in 2025 and 2026 is $73 million.
Oof.
So it feels like they're stuck with him. And I know what happened with Russell Wilson last year, and I don't want to get ahead. My point is they got to figure it out with Watson. And he wasn't ready against the Cowboys, maybe. He certainly wasn't good enough against the Cowboys. And, he's only played, now it's 13 games in the last 3+ years, or more, since 2020. It's not a lot of football. He's coming off the shoulder injury. There's questions about his confidence, questions if he's seeing the field, if he's making quick enough decisions. The pass protection wasn't great, so that hurt. They got behind early, and that hurt. There are a million factors, but the one big question is, can Deshaun Watson figure it out? And there were glimpses last year. In the last game he played, he was 14 for 14 in the second half, and they come back and win in Baltimore. Had a good game against Tennessee. Played pretty well against Arizona. So there were glimpses, and you would think that he could get back to at least that, but he wasn't close to that yet against the Cowboys.
Jaguars and the Browns, Sunday, 1 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Scott Petrak is our guy up in Cleveland with BrownZone.com. Scott, you got national guys like Dan Orlovsky saying Cleveland should make a change and go to Jameis Winston, a guy we're obviously familiar with here in the state of Florida. What did Deshaun Watson look like in the preseason and training camp? Was there any sign that he was going to struggle right out of the gate?
Well, he didn't play in the preseason, and the coaches got some grief about that. He was scheduled to play in the finale in Seattle, and during that week, he had a sore arm. And then he stopped practicing on a Wednesday, practiced Thursday, or stopped throwing on a Wednesday. Wound up the next day, he's made all the throws. They still held him out. They were having left tackle issues. They weren't going to play their starting left guard. They weren't going to play their top receiver. So they just decided it was not worth playing Deshaun Watson in that game. So the only reps we saw were in training camp, and we saw a bunch of them. He practiced all but one day in training camp. And I would say it was inconsistent. I had questions then about ball placement. I think more importantly, I had questions about how quick he was making decisions. So it was inconsistent. There'd be good practices and good plays within practices, and then there'd be a stretch of bad. So that's kind of how he's been since he's been in Cleveland. So I expected some bumps in the road. I didn't know how he would look game one, and obviously he did not look good. I think there's reason to expect him to be better, but I just don't know how good that better is. It certainly feels right now that he's never going to get to who he was in Houston, which means the Browns gave up too much and they paid too much. Can he be a guy that wins 9 or 10 games and wins a playoff game? Maybe, and that kind of feels like the ceiling. But that would be way better than what he showed against the Cowboys.
There's a lot of skill around Deshaun Watson. We'll get to there in a moment. David Njoku, the rumor is a high ankle, although I saw Kevin Stefanski's Zoom call on Monday. He didn't come out and say high ankle, although I think it was kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that appears to be what it might be. If that's the case, Njoku, there's no way he's playing on Sunday, correct?
Yeah, Stefanski's cagey about injuries. He was cagey about that one. I was told Njoku could miss weeks, which likely means he's going to miss at least 1 week, right? Now, you have to be careful because I don't know for sure that it's a high ankle. Jerome Ford, the running back, actually had a high ankle last year and played the next week, which is unheard of. And I was stunned that he did, but somehow he did. So, there's degrees of high ankle, I suppose. But I would not expect David Njoku to play in Jacksonville, and that is a huge loss for the Browns. He's their number 2 option in the pass game. He's a really good run blocker and pass blocker, and they don't have a whole lot of options behind him. They have Jordan Akins. He's the only other tight end on the active roster. They have two really inexperienced tight ends on the practice squad. So that'd be a huge loss. And they'd have, their pass game struggled against the Cowboys. And I don't know, it'd be a lot harder to fix it without one of your best guys.
Couple more for Scott Petrak of BrownZone.com. Scott, wide receiver-wise, on paper, they got a lot of talent, right? Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy found the end zone on Sunday, Elijah Moore. What's your thought on the wide receivers as they head down here to Jacksonville?
I love Amari Cooper. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be a good addition. He missed some time in the offseason and training camp with a minor knee injury. When he practiced, he was good. There's some route running ability and some separation when he catches the ball. He can go. He caught a touchdown against the Cowboys. Elijah Moore's fine. Cedric Tillman, the second-year guy out of Tennessee, has some size and some upside. So people around Cleveland have always questioned the receiving core. They feel like it's a little short. I think it's okay. I think those guys will look better if their quarterback is better. And I think Cooper can play with anybody. So to me, that's not what's holding this team back. It's protecting Watson and then Watson doing what he needs to do.
Now, obviously, protection was a big problem against Dallas. That's what happens when you're going up against Micah Parsons in that front. Now, nothing against Jacksonville. Trayvon Walker had 2 sacks against Miami. Eric Armstead had a sack. Joshua Hines-Allen did not have a sack, so maybe he's due. So the Jaguars have a pretty good front four. Yep. What is the story on the Cleveland line, particularly the 2 tackles, Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin? I know both guys missed the game last week. It's early this week, but what's your gut feeling telling you about those guys for Sunday?
I don't think Wills will be ready. He didn't start practicing until last week. I think there's a chance Conklin's ready. I thought Conklin was going to play against the Cowboys. So I think there's a chance he'll be able to go, against the Jaguars. He would be an upgrade, assuming the knee holds up, an upgrade over James Hudson III at left tackle. Even though Conklin hasn't played left tackle since he was at Michigan State, I still think he would be an upgrade as a 2-time All-Pro right tackle. The other 4 guys should be fine. DeJuan Jones, the right tackle, second-year guy at Ohio State, he struggled against the Cowboys, had a couple of false starts with Micah Parsons lined up opposite him, but he played well as a rookie. And then the 2 guards are veteran Pro Bowlers, center solid, and Ethan Posick. So, and I hate to blame it all on James Hudson III. I mean, he struggles and they have to help him. But it felt like more – I mean, there were some one-on-one guys get beat, and whether it's the edges or even in the interior guys that get beat. But they also struggled, I guess, mentally to pick up the different blitzes that the Cowboys were bringing. And they would overload and bring 5, 6, or 7. And whether it's Watson and or the protection, they just missed some of those guys. Or they went to the wrong spot and let a guy come untouched. So they really have to clean that up. And I think they will, and I think they can because it's a veteran group. Those are smart guys. But obviously that protection has to be get better because Watson was on his back all day long and he was hit 17 times.
Yeah, that's way too many for a starting quarterback. As far as the Cleveland defense goes, Scott, there's already talk down here about Myles Garrett based on the way the Jaguar line performed against Miami. Jalen Phillips had a field day in the 4th quarter. How did Myles Garrett look against Dallas, and what kind of help does he have along that front?
They're loaded up front. Zadarius Smith is back. They have Obo Okoronkwo, Alex Wright are the backup ends. They got a lot of guys in the interior. Dalvin Tomlinson, Maurice Hurst II, who has an ankle injury, so he might not play. But they have Quentin Jefferson. They signed in free agency to add interior pass rush. Shelby Harris. They had a bunch of guys. Obviously, Garrett's the top of that list. He had a sack and a forced fumble against the Cowboys and came close a couple other times. He had a sack that was taken away because he lined up in the neutral zone. And the Cowboys did everything to take him out of it. They rolled away from him. They double, triple teamed him. They had to lead most of the game, so Dak didn't have to just drop back and sit in the pocket, which obviously Watson did because they were losing. So, Garrett's coming off Defensive Player of the Year. As good as ever. I think he's hitting his prime. Jacksonville should be worried about him and the whole offense or defensive line.
Final moment, Scott Petrak, BrownZone.com. Scott, as we begin to wrap up, the Jaguars have back-to-back road games after this, at Buffalo on Monday night, at Houston. I'm not sure if there's a must-win in September.
Yeah.
If there is, this might be it for the Jaguars. It's their only home game in September. It's a desperate Jaguar team. Is it a desperate Cleveland team to try to avoid 0-2 coming to Northeast Florida on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to say from a schedule standpoint, not as desperate as Jacksonville. What you just laid out is looking like 0-4 if they were to lose to the Browns on Sunday. Cleveland comes home for the Giants, and then they go to Vegas. So even if they lost in Jacksonville, you could see, okay, 2-2 and kind of settle things down. The beginning of the schedule is the easier part for the Browns. It gets really tough in, end of October, November, December especially. So I guess it's not as desperate, but they do need to make hay early. That's been all since the schedule came out. That was the feeling. They need to get off to a great start. And if you go 0-2, it makes it really difficult, right? We've seen that historically to get to the playoffs. Confidence is tough. You get the fan base questioning. You got issues at quarterback. So I think both teams are desperate, but I give the edge there to Jacksonville.
Hey, Scott, for Jaguar fans listening tonight that want to follow Browns coverage leading into this game on Sunday, tell them about brownzone.com and what you'll have coming up this week.
Yeah, you can find all the work at brownzone.com. I'll have things to watch, key numbers, the pick, I'll have stories throughout the week. One of the big things I know I'll write about is the Browns defense was great last year, number one in the league, but it struggled on the road. The numbers were really, there's a huge contrast between home and road. So that's something they've spent the offseason thinking about, and it'll be the first test to see if they can get that straightened out.
He's our guy up in Cleveland when it comes to the Browns, Scott Petrak of brownzone.com. Scott, appreciate it. Enjoy the friendly confines here in Jacksonville. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Get what you need to get you ready for the weekend.
I'm National College Football writer Matt Hayes, and I'll bring you stories about players, coaches, and programs.
It's the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff, Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny? That's right, Steve.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cool with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. So another Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. And you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? Everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. When I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat. And it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels. A proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
It's the best time of the year again. It's football season, and with football season here, fantasy football has arrived. And forget the season-long leagues. Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app is the way to go. I've been playing it now for almost a year, and it is just suits me to a T. First of all, it's simple, right? Just choose higher or lower on statistical projections or compete against others in player-v-player fantasy games. Either way, there's so many options. There's research there on the site. It's easy to use, and right now, you can get a little bit extra. That's right. Go to the mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code PROSSER. They're going to give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER, and claim your new customer offer. Do it right now, plus a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Got to be 18 or over, got to be present in the state where it's played, and call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org if you have a problem.
Your school, your colors. There's something special about football under the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights with Hackert and Andrew Gibson. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand, a stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort, IslandOaksRVResort.com.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, it's a big weekend of college football. SEC play for the Florida Gators begins. Florida State looking to get their first win of the year. and some intriguing matchups all over the Southeastern Conference. For all of it, let's talk to our buddy Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News, and you get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Mr. Beard, how are you, sir?
There aren't a lot of ranked teams playing each other. We've got one in the SEC one ranked, one out of conference that's playing each other. But still, to your point, there are not only some good games, there are some really, really important games that are going to maybe tell us how these teams are going to do the rest of the year.
Well, let's begin with a vital game for Billy Napier in the Swamp. 3:30 on Saturday. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, Texas A&M and Florida. Brent, you and I had this talk in the offseason. This was well before the Miami game, and I've made the point all offseason long. From a conference perception standpoint, A&M to me was bigger than Miami. No, I didn't realize Miami was going to go as bad as it went for Billy Napier, but this is game 3 for Mike Elko. It's his first SEC game as head coach at A&M. It's his first road game as head coach for A&M. If he leads the Aggies into the Swamp against Billy Napier, who's in year 3, and Mike Elko and the Aggies win that game, boy, that's damning. That's even more damning maybe than what happened against Miami.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And on top of that, and this is an incredible stat too, A&M with all their bravado and all their 100,000 people, and so at home they have lost 10 consecutive games on the road.
Wow.
Now this goes back to October 16th, 2021. But that is amazing when you think about that and what pressure that adds to A&M. Connor Weekman, the quarterback, looked a little better last week against McNeese State. He did not look good at all. Don't think he felt well in that Notre Dame loss. And then now Levon Moss, who's a running back, is picking up the pace. He looks better. But this is, I know it's early, but this is something Florida needs to pay attention to. A&M is like 109 in the nation in rushing yards allowed, which tells you that they really need to be able to take advantage of that. But I'm with you, and we're not trying to be dramatic about this. But this is a humongous game for Florida. They really need to win this game. They've had some close losses to A&M before, and this does not need to be another one.
Brent, where are you on the whole DJ Lagway, Graham Mertz situation?
I do agree with Napier in that he doesn't necessarily need to lose his job because of an injury. Now, let's be honest, DJ Lagway has better skills. He's got a stronger arm. He's probably maybe even more accurate. And listen, on that touchdown he threw that just basically fell in the receiver's arms, I do a podcast with Shane Matthews, so I respect Shane's opinion a lot. Shane said, I don't know if you've heard this or not, that pass was the best pass that he ever remembers being completed in Florida Field.
Wow.
Now think about that. Think about that a minute.
Wow.
So, it really is, isn't it? So that's one of those things to where that tells you the talent that Lagway has got. But I do agree with Napier, and he's not trying to create a controversy, but they need to play both of them. That's important, and Lagway needs to get into a bigger conference game instead of just an out-of-conference Samford game.
You see Brent Beard on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. I agree with Billy Napier as well. I said last week, even before Lagway threw for 456, on the Gator Bites podcast that I would start Graham Mertz if I'm Billy Napier because it gives you the best chance to win. It does, I mean, look, I understand the hope for Gator fans with DJ Lagway. I understand the excitement, but it's Billy Napier's job to beat Texas A&M at 3:30 on September the 14th of 2024, right? They're not playing for 2025 or 2026.
Yes.
He needs to win the game coming up here on Saturday afternoon. And winning the game on Saturday afternoon, to me, the best chance you have to do that is playing Lagway. I'm not saying don't play him, but I would play and start Graham Mertz, no question about it. All right, there are a lot of games to get to. Let's kind of go rapid fire on some of these to get to as many as we can. Maybe the best group of 5 team in the country in Memphis comes to Florida State. The Seminoles have had or will have 12 days after Boston College to kind of figure out what's wrong and kind of reset the playing field, if you will. Can Florida State get off the mat and get their first win of the year?
I don't know. Frankly, Memphis may be the best team they played so far. I mean, Seth Hennigan, the quarterback at Memphis, has an amazing 11,000 yards, 82 touchdowns, and 25 interceptions. That's a pretty good ratio with that, too. This is a big game for Memphis, frankly.
It's probably their Super Bowl, right?
Probably, in a lot of ways. I would agree with that. And let me put another situation in here. This game probably is as important or more important to Memphis than it is Florida State. Now, what do we mean by that? Memphis is projected to be possibly the number 12 team in the playoffs because the best, quote unquote, non-Power 4 conference team is going to get that number 12 slot. So in order for Memphis to do that, they really do need to win this game. They've probably got a much narrower plane to go by than a lot of these other teams do because the committee is not going to give them very many mulligans. So it is an incredible game for, I think, both these teams. Hakeem Williams, the wide receiver, is going to be back, so that will help. Jalen Lucas, the running back, also special teams. He is out for the year, unfortunately. That is also a problem. And my final FSU comment is they really, and they probably are going to have to do it this week or certainly next week. Don't they have to make a decision at some point with DJ Uiagalelei? Either he's going to improve and get better and be able to put this team from time to time on his shoulders and get a win, or at some point you just have to go with a youth movement at quarterback hack and go from there.
Well, we are in the political season, and that might get political because of the money they paid DJU and NIL to bring him to Tallahassee. That's something to consider. And Florida State might also want to stop the running game of their opponents. They might want to think about that at some point this year because Boston College and Georgia Tech basically did whatever they wanted to on the ground. So those are the two big games in the state. There are a couple of big games in the SEC. Who would have had this circled a couple weeks ago? As again, we're here with Brent Beard. You see him on First Coast News. You get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. Boston College, Missouri, ACC, SEC bragging rights, and two what appears to be very good teams going at it, Brent, on Saturday.
Well, and who would have ever thought that this would have been a top 25 game, frankly. But again, give Boston College a lot of credit for what they have done also in making their mark in the league. And listen, if Boston College is able to win this game, although I think Missouri will win, think about this. That would put Boston College and Bill O'Brien up there maybe with Cal, who just beat Auburn. It's two teams that you would never thought about that would have really been in the ACC race. Missouri's played really good defense, basically shutting out everybody they played. Luther Burden is still the guy at wide receiver from Missouri. He did get banged up, which is unfortunate, so hopefully he'll be back as soon as possible. Kirby Moore, the offense coordinator, has thrown the ball more to another one of their wide receivers named Weist, and he's done a really good job, 149 yards last week. So I'm with you. This is an unexpected, really good game. Boston College averaging 280 yards rushing, and when you can do that and your offensive line mows people down, you're going to have a chance. So I think Missouri wins, but this could be a very entertaining game.
Brent, your alma mater struggled a little bit last week with South Florida, yet Alabama pulled away and won by, I think, 26 at the end of the game, although I think it was closer than that. They have to go to Camp Randall. That could be a tough game against Wisconsin on Saturday. It's a noon kick as well, so an early kick for Alabama-Wisconsin. Do the Crimson Tide have any issues up there?
Well, this comes down to Alabama's offensive line. The offensive line struggled against South Florida, second year in a row. Give South Florida credit. That may be one of the reasons that they may be considering South Florida to move into the ACC once these other teams like Florida State and Clemson leave. But Bama's got all kinds of weapons. If Jalen Milroe can give them the ball, Ryan Williams is a freshman wide receiver who has really been impressive. By the way, Elijah Pickett came in the game and replaced Wilkin Formby. I think Formby will be fine later on. He just doesn't have much experience. And Bama scored like 3 straight times after he came in. I mean, Wisconsin's who they are. They're big. They've got a big offensive line. Our former ACC friend, Hack, when Tyler Van Dyke is your quarterback now at Wisconsin, and we remember him having some really good games, and we also remember him being benched against Middle Tennessee. So that's what Bama's dealing with on Saturday at noon.
Georgia goes to Kentucky. That's the ABC 7:30 game. I'll bet they want a do-over on that one. Boy, Kentucky looked horrible last week in that loss to South Carolina. I mean, this is a woodshed game for the Bulldogs, correct?
Probably, but Kentucky's got to play better. I mean, the game's at home, but Brock Vandergrift, 3 of 10 for 30 yards. Their offensive line was terrible against South Carolina. Give South Carolina some credit. Zion Childress, their defensive back in Kentucky, he was one of the few that played well. But I'm with you. I think Georgia's able to basically name the score. Carson Beck's playing well. I mean, Georgia just been dominant in the last 4 meetings in Lexington. They've won by at least 10 points a game. So this won't be any different either. Georgia has a lot tougher games coming up. But I do hope for Mark Stoops' sake, and I really respect him as a coach, that they will play a lot better than they did last week.
Final moments with Brent Beard. Speaking of South Carolina, they're feeling awfully good about things. They return home to the friendly confines of Williams-Brice Stadium as LSU, the Bengal Tigers, roll into Columbia. That should be a good one between LSU and South Carolina.
It very well could. I think the reality here is it shows you that there aren't very many ranked big games this week when LSU and South Carolina will be visited by game day. But South Carolina had a big win, as we mentioned last week, in Lexington. Norris Sellers, who is either good or bad, and this time he was good, played better, threw for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And he fumbled twice, but he didn't lose them. But this is going to be a very interesting game because South Carolina's defense, with guys like Dylan Stewart, have really risen to the occasion. That'll be a really good match between the defense of South Carolina and the LSU offensive line, which is one of the better ones in the, frankly, in the nation. And LSU again, Garrett Nussmeier playing well. They've had another season-ending injury at LSU, Jacoby and Guillory. The defensive tackle is a torn Achilles, so he's out. They lost Emery, their running back, but a few weeks ago. So they'll point well taken. It's going to be an interesting game. Will be a big win for who's either able to get it. And you've been up there like I have. That is a passionate fan base in Columbia, and they have not had much to cheer about. So this will be a real highlight for them if they can win the game.
You get Brent Beard on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Brent, we got to go quick, 60 seconds, but I got to ask you, that was bad last week on the Plains. I'm not saying Hugh Freeze is in any trouble, but the people at Auburn can't be happy about losing to Cal.
Well, they're not, and Cal should have beat them last year, frankly. Auburn's really struggling with what to do at quarterback with Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne's just not very good. He threw 4 interceptions last week. Hugh thought he could really turn this guy around, and it just really hasn't happened. And he may get better, but their strength of that team is a running game with Jarquez Hunter in those backs. And they've got a lot of freshman receiver like Cam Coleman who are very good. But again, what's coming back to haunt Auburn is every game they play in September is at home. Every game in October is on the road. And Hank, the real problem at Auburn is they haven't even gotten into the meat of the schedule for the SEC, and they've already had a loss that no one saw coming.
They play New Mexico on Saturday to try to get back on the winning track. We're always winning with my buddy Brent Beard. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark. Brent, enjoy a full Saturday of college football, including that big one between A&M and Florida, and we'll be back next week to recap it all. Appreciate you, my friend.
Absolutely, bud. Take care.
Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
And thank you to my buddy Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You get him weekly right here as well on Hacker After Dark, as we have a big college football Saturday on the horizon. Florida and Texas A&M. I'm leaning A&M. I got to be honest. I hope Florida can prove me wrong, but at this point, I'm leaning A&M to win the game. That Miami game was very, very disappointing. I think Florida will play better than they did against Miami, but I'm leaning A&M in this one. I got to be honest. I like Florida State over Memphis. As far as the other SEC games, Georgia big over Kentucky. I think LSU and South Carolina will be fun. I will take LSU to win that game. So a nice college football Saturday coming up this weekend. Certainly looking forward to that. We spent a lot of time on that. Obviously spent a lot of time on the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Their home opener at Everbank Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Of course, we will have the fifth quarter for you. Myself, the head coach Dave Campo, and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. We will be live from Island Girls Cigar Bar out on Gate Parkway 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Browns go final. We invite you to join us out there and hopefully maybe a victory cigar or two for the Jaguars, and I think they will get the win. I've told you that all week. I think Jacksonville wins the game, and I think they win the game by more than a touchdown. I like Jacksonville to get to 1-1 on the year and defeat the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. So that'll just about do it. It has been a very, very busy Thursday night edition here of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have just a ton of people to thank. Again, Brent Beard, you see him on First Coast News. You hear him weekly here on Hacker After Dark. Thank you to Scott Petrak, our guy up in Cleveland. BrownZone.com is where you find his work, as we got the Cleveland Browns perspective of this game coming in here on Sunday to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you to my buddy Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar wide receiver, joins us every week here on HAD during the NFL regular season as we looked around the AFC South and certainly previewed Jacksonville and Cleveland. We had a little Jaguar locker room talk earlier today. I got to catch up with defensive back Antonio Johnson and defensive tackle Devon Hamilton. Certainly appreciate both of those guys for taking time out for us inside the Jaguar locker room earlier on. And, of course, my guy, Little Hack. It was Hack and Little Hack make the picks here on Hacker After Dark. And always love Little Hack joining us to make his weekly selections. Now, tomorrow night, Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights postgame. We will be on soon as Bishop Kenny and Bowles go final on both 1010 AM and 92.5 FM. We will bring you victorious high school coaches all over Northeast Florida. So we do hope you join us for the Friday Night Lights tomorrow night following the conclusion of Bishop Kenny and Bowles. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening and really all week with us here on Hacker After Dark. And as we always tell you, and cannot possibly tell you enough, how much we absolutely appreciate it. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Thursday evening. And we will talk to you again tomorrow night under